Hi there, it's Alex. Wow, honestly, what a day. What a day. So, 8 years after being diagnosed with a defunct immune system, finally day zero arrives. Wiping that old immune system out and putting in a new one in the form of some new stem cells. I would say it was difficult to put into words, but I think my blog post I managed to write quite a bit, but I'll try not to go on too much. So how was my day? I tell you what, it started well. I didn't really get quite the amount of sleep that I was hoping for. I think the night before I got a beautiful load of sort of text messages and well wishes from various people sort of saying good luck tomorrow and what have you. But I think it was just getting so late. I think it was probably pushing 1:30 by the time I thought enough's enough. Got to put my phone down. So yeah, woke up the next morning sort of about 8:30. My phone was just chock full of messages. Amazing, really. Honestly, really wouldn't have expected it. So loads of friends and family sending their nice messages. I mean, that was great, of course. So one reason why I set up the blog is because I wanted to kind of connect to people. Long whilst I was on the waiting list, I was seeing other people sort of going through the treatment, and they were talking about it and saying how harsh it was, and they were finding it difficult. And I thought, well, I want to do it my way. Hopefully don't need to be scared about it. And I wanted to show how doable it was, maybe. I did my research before I got on the waiting list, just to sort of understand and get an idea of what will happen to me. But the effects that people were talking about just didn't seem to ring true. So I just wanted to see if I could do it and actually hopefully show that it's not so bad. So after, of course, reading all the lovely family messages and what have you, there was all the extra messages from those who'd been reading the blog and sort of following my progress. I mean, I'd always try to sort of make the blog quite interesting and sort of hopefully quite light along the way. I mean, I certainly never did it for any sort of attention. I just wanted to connect. I tell you what, the more of them I read, I was just starting to bawl my eyes out. There were just the most lovely messages from people, strangers, naturally I've never met, but these were people that, like I say, had sort of been following, and in some cases they were friends and parents of people going through the treatment. So yeah, just getting these sorts of messages from people that I'd never met were just incredible. Just never would have imagined it. I mean, I've sort of gotten to know a few people along the way, and they left lovely messages too. And there's those who just simply follow the blog, and they just reached out and said, don't normally post, but felt like I really wanted to say good luck on your day zero. I mean, like I say, just the more I just read these messages, I was in bits, really. And I've got a good standing image up to uphold too, you know. Don't want to come across like a complete wuss. And then to top it off, my wife Jen, she left us, before she went back home again, she left us a day zero card, sort of wrote the most lovely big long message in it, and that was it. That just set me for six. Our future, sort of our new life, and well, I mean, like I say, just bawling my eyes out. So then sort of gave her a call sort of shortly after, and I just couldn't get my words out. I mean, what can I say? I mean, such an amazing, emotional morning, and nothing had even begun yet. So one thing that Dr. Fedorenko is really good about is that I sort of suggested that he knew about my blog, and I said I want to try and sort of share as much of the procedure, the treatment, as much as possible. And I sort of said, would it be all right to put the camera in the top corner? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, share everything. And it was like, brilliant, getting a nice wide picture. But then what I didn't realise is that actually my day zero, I was one of four. So I guess I was being set up first maybe, and then they moved on to the others. Sadly, I didn't realise that the procedure wouldn't start immediately once I was prepped. The battery ran out after bloody half an hour. They still had other people to sort of do as well. The fact that I heard my camera just sort of go beep, 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 beep. I was like, oh crap. I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to make the most of this. And you know what? It was lovely. I was just lying there, and I was just contemplating the last 8 years of being diagnosed with MS, and sort of, I won't say what it's taken from me, but the struggles it's created. And I was just lying there sort of thinking, maybe this is it. This is the turning point finally in my life. And start thinking about all the things, I mean, like I say, that we were missing. So soon after I was all set up and ready, Dr. Fedorenko came in and sort of asked how I was doing, and yeah, I was absolutely fine. Sort of checked my blood pressures and levels and sort of said, a bit higher than it normally has been this week. I mean, I didn't really want to tell him that, yeah, that's because I've just been bawling my eyes out for all these messages. the ECG, I think it was pushing like 120. I mean, there's no reason for it. I was feeling really relaxed, but I just sort of thought, okay, well, let's make the most of this. With a great big smile, he left the room, and I just sort of concentrated on just sort of relaxing. And you know what? I was so relaxed, again, in the knowing that I'm going to get my stem cells back, and this is my day zero. In comes the entourage, and then Dr. Fedorenko then sort of lifts out this icy bag of stem cells with sort of icy air sort of just falling off it, and it's like, here we go, these are your stem cells, Alex. I was like, yes. Then the nurse takes them away, thaws them out, and sort of then puts them into 3 little vial syringes ready for, I think it was Dr. Nikolai who assisted Dr. Fedorenko that day. And then Dr. Fedorenko then sort of described the side effects that I'm likely to feel. He sort of mentioned I could feel a bit of a crushing on the chest. He said you might get some taste in the mouth. Blood levels might sort of come up. You might feel hot or cold, but nothing that didn't sound too unpleasant, certainly. And then Dr. Fedorenko would put his hand on my arm, so I said, right, okay, let's begin. And you know what? To start with, I just didn't really feel a thing. I think at one point I then started feeling, my face is now starting to feel quite flushed. It was starting to heat up a bit. Dr. Fedorenko then said, no, that's okay. That's just your heart rate sort of going up and down, just sort of adjusting to the new temperature, but it's fine. And then I started getting this feeling at the back of my throat, like a little piece of plastic sort of lodged. It wasn't particularly pleasant. I mean, my throat was starting to get quite dry. And then the next thing I know, I'm starting to get this sort of taste of tomatoes in the mouth. Can't really remember what he said, but actually, honestly, it tasted them quite nice. And then I think Dr. Nikolai sort of suggested that they were nearly done, and Dr. Fedorenko asked, any other feelings, any crushing on the chest? And it was just like, no. That was actually totally relaxing. There was absolutely nothing that they did in the procedure to sort of raise those levels in any sort of way. These sort of small waves of heat, like the throat and what have you, actually they weren't unpleasant, and actually the whole thing was just totally relaxing and over in probably about 10-12 minutes. I was then left with the nurse, who then sort of hooked us up to a drip and left the room also. But yeah, I mean, like I say, I totally didn't imagine how easy the procedure would be. The nurse, she prepped me up beforehand. I was feeling very relaxed. Dr. Fedorenko was very good at looking after me. He was very calm throughout it. He told me as and when I spoke of how I was feeling. He gave good reason for it. Who would have thought getting rid of MS could be such a fine experience, really? And then naturally, once the drip had done and been sort of been taken away from me, thought about getting dressed, getting ready. Took my time, it was nice. And then so I went to go and join the others outside for the stem cell party, which is Dr. Fedorenko's little thing. I mean, it's so nice. He uses the big tub that holds all the stem cells, and he sort of pours that sort of ice fluid all over the floor as it evaporates. Sort of really pretty, and it's nice. But it's the symbol of it all as well. This is your future. This is your life. Dr. Fedorenko also gives a bit of a speech. He talks about new life, about positivity, getting your mind right, ready for the healing.
I'm very happy to meet everybody and to thank you for this beautiful work. It's a single family, it's a single team, because I think we do the great job. We fight the difficult disease all together, and we started our tradition together with patients to be successful in halting of MS and other autoimmune diseases, because everybody knows that autoimmune diseases are difficult. It's difficult to cure, to treat these diseases. So, and today we have a great day. We had successful stem cell reinfusion, day 0 in transplantology for our friends. They did a great job, went through the chemotherapy. We all together destroyed wrong immunity and give stem cells back. So from today, new immune system started to rebuild. Thank you very much. And your iris, it's quite important. It's quite important to be positive and to work as a team. So New life means new life without the disease. New life right here. Okay?
And
And this is the little symbol of that. When you sort of receive the pin, it's really nice too, because Dr. Fedorenko's got the sort of biggest smile and he gives you a great big hug. You just don't get that in any sort of standard hospital. Dr. Fedorenko is unique. I mean, he really is. The man has so much warmth about him. You feel like he really understands what you've sort of gone through with your MS, and with him completing this procedure for you, I think he really understands the potential for new life all over again. So yeah, my experience of the AA Maximov Hospital in Moscow so far has just been incredible. I mean, it's not felt like a hospital stay at all. I mean, the team that he's got here, they're so warm and nice, they really care for you. Everything is just brought to you. You've got the warmth of Dr. Fedorenko and Anastasia. They really do they're so attentive to your care and your needs. It's just been too relaxing to be a hospital stay. Certainly no hospital I've known. I realise that I'm just kind of rabbiting on really. Thinking about it, this is probably the worst wrapping up to a video blog ever. I really honestly don't know what to say. I've just had the most lovely day. It started off with all those messages, the procedure, totally relaxed throughout it. There was the party afterwards with all the people, the other stem cell buddies if you like, sort of receiving their pins, the throwing of the ice on the floor. I was just feeling so warm and nice inside. Yeah, didn't really know what to do with myself. I think best thing to do is I just took myself back to my room, texts, Facebook messages and what have you. Another late night, but amazing and a most wonderful problem to have, just sort of responding to all these messages. Everyone that contributed, I'm just so grateful, really. So yeah, going forward, this is how we wrap up a video blog. Now that stem cells are in, whilst I'm in isolation, I'll have a completely rebooted immune system with no knowledge of any previous illnesses or certainly any defects possibly. And so yeah, I'll just be in isolation, sort of sitting back, relaxing, letting my body set up its brand new immune system. And you know, I couldn't be happier. Here's to isolation.